ever wonder if a machine can do your job better than you can? Well, if you're a YouTuber, that's not just possible, it's happening.
So it feels like the fear is AI is going to replace us as humans.
Some people are predicting that 90% of all content produced on the internet will be generated by AI in just a few years. And of course, we don't know the future, but one thing that is totally for certain is we are entering a new phase of YouTube, but creators like you and me have to be aware of this shift to protect the monetization of our channels and honestly protect the community that we've fostered over all these years. But to even fully understand how to protect it, we have to understand what's going on in the world of AI and YouTube right now. It really wasn't long ago that anybody could rival the giant Hollywood stars like Joe the Plumber could get on YouTube and just create a huge following. And I'm not sure that that is our world anymore. I don't know about your feed, but there's a lot of faceless channels out there. You never see the face of the creator. You maybe hear a voiceover and it's stitched together with B-roll, stock photos, animation, but you never see the person. And not only are we seeing these pop up all over YouTube, but we're also seeing so-called gurus popping up promising wealth and riches if you start your faceless channel using artificial intelligence. And honestly, faceless channels are one thing, but that's not even mentioning what Kwebbelkop is doing. And if you don't know who Kwebbelkop is, I didn't before all this started happening either, but he's a Minecraft creator, and apparently one of the most prominent gaming channels up until this point. What he did was he created this new channel called Blue, and he created this AI version of himself, this animated character that reacts to content. And obviously this animated character is not made for sophisticated audiences. This is obviously made for children, but it caused an uproar in the creator community. And it's important to note that that video image of Blue is AI generated, the voice is AI generated, and the script is also AI generated.
And let's prove him wrong! Go! What the heck? It freaking worked!
So why is this even a big deal? Well, in the first year, it brought in $590,000 in AdSense revenue. In the first year. Not to mention that this still looks like an animated character. What if years down the road this looks like a real person? But it's all just generated imagery. Imagine how quickly these content farms can just pump out content that looks and feels real. How much money is on the table for these creators? There is so much incentive for them to do this, but what does that mean for the actual human creators? Oh, and hold on, don't think that YouTube is just sitting on the sidelines watching this happen. They're releasing AI tools as well. I mean, look at Dream Screen, this AI-powered video creation tool, or Aloud, which is an AI-powered dubbing tool for different languages, or AI Insights. So one thing's very clear, the YouTube that we used to know is dying, and this new era of YouTube is being born. And if you're just getting started, this may feel overwhelming, and you're like, is it even worth diving in to YouTube at this point? And if that's your concern, let me just say that that is a very real concern. But I believe that there's hope, because honestly, AI is doing something unprecedented. It's giving us the abilities that we did not have just a year ago, honestly. Because if you are a busy person like me who has a full-time job, kids, dog that needs walked, you try to go to gym so you can stay somewhat in shape, and you're like, how do I even fit this whole YouTube dream into my 24 hours? And honestly, that's where AI kind of becomes your partner in crime. And before you're like,
hold on, you just blasted AI, but now you're like, hey, maybe we should be using AI and have AI-generated content in our videos.
Hold on, I promise this is all gonna come together. Because if we're just being real, it does take the grunt work out of being the creator, cutting out hours of just editing out the dead parts or the mistakes that you made on camera, churning out a week's worth of content in a single afternoon. There's no burnout because you didn't spend hours doing the tedious stuff. There's no compromise on quality. I mean, that's kind of the dream, right? Yes, but the thing we have to keep in mind is when the barrier to entry gets so low that anybody and their grandma can make a channel and pump out quality, consistent content, the supply goes way up and the demand doesn't really follow. And what happens when 90% of the content online is machine generated? Because then it's not even about the ability to create, it's more about being unique. And being unique is the one weapon that you still have. And AI is honestly turning YouTube into a very different game, because it's no longer human versus human, and it's honestly not even human versus machine, but it's more humans who use the machines and the ones who don't. And if you need some proof of that, we've actually seen this play out already. Let's head back to the 1900s. Garry Kasparov. He is a chess grandmaster who was defeated by IBM's Deep Blue back in 1997. And this is the first time AI has ever beaten a human in an intellectual competition. And of course, that AI was not as sophisticated as the models today, obviously. But in that time, people thought that this was the beginning of the end. But at a turn of events, Garry did not give up. He didn't throw in the towel. He actually started working with the AI. That he dove into research and figured out how he could be like this co-pilot, or the AI could be his co-pilot to be better at chess. And Garry ended up turning that loss into a lifelong partnership with artificial intelligence. And Garry actually coined this idea, the Centaur Model idea, which is the combination of human and machine. Because it doesn't have to be a battle. Machines can do the heavy computational lifting. And humans can do what only humans do best. Strategize, or think creatively, or just like feel. So what does this mean for you and me? It means that we need to become a YouTube Centaur, leveraging AI to do things like topic brainstorming, or fixing bad audio, or video editing much faster, or even using AI to help you understand your unique voice so it can help you pump out more written content faster in your voice. So that way you're freed up to figure out, how can I tell my story? How can I build a community? How can I don't know, bring the only thing to the table that you can bring, which is yourself. And what does this look like practically? I think first it means taking stock of the things that you do regularly. What are those things that are taking you hours that a machine can handle in minutes, or maybe even seconds? Maybe it's your editing, thinking about all the time you spend just cutting out the dead time, the silences. A machine can do that in about a minute. And I'll link the tools that I've been using down in the description below if you're curious. And figure out what makes your channel uniquely yours. The storytelling, the humor, that human touch. That's what you need to be focusing your energy on. Hey, sorry about that. Editing Sam here. I just wanted to say, if you are interested in like becoming that YouTube Centaur, then make sure to get that link in the description below. I have a whole bunch of copy and paste, totally free ChatGPT prompts that you can use to help you write your YouTube intros, or come up with title ideas. Or there's one where it actually will rate the title idea and tell you different ways that it can be improved, or different things like that. So check that out in the description. Anyway, all right. And if you're skeptical about all of this, I think that's a legitimate response, because one question that did come to my mind is, okay, that's great and all, but what if there's a day that maybe isn't that far in the future when these AI content farms, these giant companies who are just pumping out AI content, can get to the point where the stuff they're producing, humans can't tell the difference between AI generated and not. When there's so much content that humans can't tell the difference, then what does that mean for us measly human creators? And that's a legitimate response. But I feel like we are pretty good, just as the human race, at kind of having a BS meter, you know what I'm saying? Like in the same way that like you see a fake guru online who's posting something with a jet behind them saying, hey, buy my course because this is how you can get as wealthy as I am. Like, you just don't take them seriously. And I almost look at it like this uncanny valley, which is like when something's so close to being human, but it's not, and it feels unsettling.
Today we're exploring downtown Manhattan. Let's go! That was the worst video I've ever made. That video sucked. And it sucked because it had no humanity. It had no depth to it, no soul to it.
And I think that's where AI is gonna be, in this uncanny valley where it's really close to being human-like, but real humans, you and me, we're gonna be able to tell. And I think we will get to the point where even if it does fool us for a time, we will start to have this craving for connection between real people, because we're going to have these BS detectors who we're really going to be able to catch emotional nuances that AI just can't replicate. Because who watches our content? People. And people will crave real human connection. Oh, hello again. I wanted to mention I'm also creating a video on how to AI proof your YouTube channel so you don't lose your monetization, the community that you built in this new wave of AI on YouTube. This video will really go into detail on how to create content that goes deeper that AI actually cannot replicate. I'm pretty excited to put this one out. So once that's out, make sure to click right here to check that out.